Now let's talk about the worst team in college football.
Last but certainly least, the Florida State Seminoles. My God. Burl, tell me what happened with these fools.
I mean, I feel bad for Florida State fans. Truly.
I feel horrible.
Truly. I mean, you go from undefeated, getting snubbed out of the playoffs, then your entire roster sits out in a bowl game, and you get absolutely embarrassed by Georgia in the bowl game. And you have these high expectations coming into this season. You're Florida State, man. You get talent all over the place. You're in the state of Florida. You got talent just falling out of everywhere. And you just stink this year. I mean, just absolutely horrible. Wasn't there like a stretch where they were the only team in college football that hadn't scored more than 13 or 21 points, something like that, something crazy?
Probably.
What a fall.
This is the worst year-over-year collapse I have ever seen in college football.
And they didn't even get the death penalty.
Yeah. From undefeated and winning a conference championship to getting to making that 63-3 loss to Georgia in the bowl game not a fluke. Like, you could say, oh, players set out, and so they got destroyed by Georgia, who was really good and motivated, and they were going to be back. But then they played this whole season like the team that got shellacked by Georgia. Mike Norvell, this was his 5th year at Florida State, and after last year, he got a huge contract extension because he was a potential candidate to take the Alabama job. Florida State's now stuck with him. Like, they couldn't fire him, even though this season was so bad.
I know. He's so lucky that he got that big extension. I mean, this next year is make or break. I mean, maybe he gets another year after that. I don't know.
I think he's got a huge buyout. Like, I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. I think his buyout got upped a whole bunch when there was rumors that he might be up for the Alabama job. So
close.
I don't think he's going anywhere. And the problem is that coming into the 2024 season, they had lost a bunch of players to the NFL. So while they had some good young players, they used the transfer portal and brought in a bunch of guys. A lot of people called it like the best transfer portal class in the country. And it did not work at all. They had DJU coming in to play quarterback. That was a total disaster. He kept getting benched and then brought back and then benched and brought back all season long.
I like to call him the killer of coaches.
Seriously, he was. Like, just so bad. And it started off bad. They lost to Georgia Tech in Ireland on national TV, and everybody, was a top 10 team, and everybody saw that they were not that good of a team. And they were just absolutely putrid. There's no other way to describe it. They only scored more than 21 points once all season long, and that was against FCS Charleston Southern. Their only win outside of the Charleston Southern game was against Cal. And we say it's bad, but let me read these stats to you, and you will understand how bad this football team was. These are their stats in 2024. Now, keep in mind, there are 134 teams in FBS. Total offense, 132nd. Scoring offense, 131st. Total defense, 86th. Scoring defense, 87th. Turnover margin, 132nd. Sacks allowed, 132nd. Interceptions, 125th. Only 4 interceptions on the season. Third down conversion rate, 131st in the country. And third down defense, 111th in the country. That is god-awful in every single conceivable way. There are no stats that you can make to say that this team was a good football team at all. They were just horrible. Purdue may have only won 1 game this year, but it's my belief that if Purdue and Florida State played, Purdue would have won. to me, Florida State was the worst football team in the country this year, and that includes the non-Power 5 teams. Like, I think every team in the country would have beaten Florida State this year pretty much, other than, for some reason, Cal.
Which was close. It was a close game.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Cal was jet lagged because they had to fly back and forth across the country several times. Oh man, what a terrible season. My heart goes out to Florida State fans. You know, we kind of share a common bond in our hatred of Florida. So, and of course, being in the state of Georgia, growing up a Braves fan, you got the Chop and Dion playing for the Falcons and the Braves. So we've always had this kind of, you know, connection with Florida State, and Mark Richt came from Florida State. Throw that in there. I just feel bad for him. And I hope, I really, really hope that next year they bounce back. I hate to see a team go through this, a fan base go through this, unless it's Florida or Tennessee, you know, that's fine. But I hate to see a team like Florida State go through this. It's just painful to watch. And I don't want people to lose their jobs. So hopefully Norvell can get it figured out, and, you know, they'll be just good enough to lose to Georgia.
Yeah. With all that being said, typically when I do these grades and when we talk about teams, typically F is an F. Like when you're a kid in school, you know, you have A+, A-, but when you get to F, it's just an F. There's no such thing as an F+ or an F-, but this Florida State team was so bad. I give Florida State in 2024 an F-. That's how bad they were.
Indeed. I did too. I went with an F-. I wish I could go lower. I mean, it's just terrible. They did win 2 games somehow, and that got them a D+ for their record score.
I don't know why.
It's just the way it shook out. So the Nitro Show final grade for the 2024 Florida State Seminoles season is a big fat F.
Thank God the season's over. Fix it, Florida State.
Yeah, we want to see some good games against your other Florida teams that you play. We miss those.